Well, hello there guys, welcome to the YouTube video here on the channel. My name's Emily Jane. Today we're doing an RE1 service from here at Koln to Aachen as a route learning video. So, super quick, I'm going to get the cab set up for departure. You can see the headlights are done. Reverser handling and neutral, happy with that. Brake can stay where it is for now. I'm going to wander down here, turn my CFAT on, turn my PZB on. PZB is in O, that's all I need to configure for today. The rest of the locos are fired up. So now we need to basically be ready for departure. So, got about a minute. What I'm actually going to do, since it's going to let me leave early, I'm going to leave early. Because it's not actually possible to complete this on time, I've discovered. So, doors are locked, confirmed. Going to blow the brake pressure off. I'm also going to check my audio levels. I can turn those back up, can't I? There we go. Turn that up slightly for you guys. So our start speed limit today is 60 kilometers per hour as we leave Koln. You can see the wheels are slipping, so what I'm going to do is reduce this dial here, which is our basically it's the amount of power the train's commanding. Sorry, down here. So that's at 75%. When we pick speed up and we're doing the high speed runs, I can knock it right up. But if you command 100%, 100% of the tractive effort, then you end up in a position where I'll just do that as well. Basically, the train just sits there and spins its wheels because it's putting too much power down. The 143s are a little bit old now, so you need to tell them sort of manually. Now, also, we do run down the LZB lines today. However, we don't have LZB signalling, so it makes no difference. I'd question the legality of it for us, but, you know. Green, green, green. Coming up on the 80 post there. I do love the timetable mode on Koln Aachen now. This was done by Joe Burgess. And the depot looks really nice. Now that you've got a couple of coaches in there, it pads it out really nicely, I think. Alright, time for 80. 80's in the bag. As we leave Koln Aachen, westbound, so Koln towards Aachen, westbound. Our stops today are Koln, Ehrenfeld, Horren, Düren, Langewehr, Eichweiler, a place that has actually no name in the game, so I can't figure out what it's called. Aachen Rothende, and Aachen Ausbahnhof. Now that we've got some speed up, I can put the tractive effort forward. And you can see we start the speed will build a bit nicer, basically at speed now. I do love the fact that we're 3 levels high of tracks here. Green. So at 3.0, so quick reminder for those of you who can't remember, those distances here are our mileposts, and they indicate, or they're used quite conveniently to figure out how quick you go, you know, basically your speed limit points correction. So although we've entered a 120 limit, I'm actually going to reduce track braking with that, and I'm going to put that on, because we're actually approaching Koln Ehrenfeld now. And I'm going to let that speed decay. I want to enter the platform at about 55, which I'm about to achieve there. And we're going to stop at the end. ourselves some. We'll let the doors go. So, why am I driving something this ridiculous on this route? So this train, like I said, can't actually keep time. I believe this is path to run at 160. Well limited to 120. I ended the last scenario 17 minutes late. This thing doesn't accelerate particularly well. And, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, we arrived early, which is good. So I'm going to try and keep this up as long as I can. I'm not looking at any of this, I'm just looking up there. So I can close the doors. The game, there's no actual clock. Oh, there's a clock in the cab. That's good. That's honestly really handy to have, actually. So, brake off. We need to blow that all the way off. I'm looking at the brake gauge on the right-hand side there. As soon as that drops below 1.0, or 1 bar correction, I can generally take power. Nope, maybe not. There we go. And I'm going to go straight up to 120, so this will be a standing start up to speed. I'm going to pull back the tractor power, initially. Even that's causing us to spin our wheels. But we should be good. You can see the bounciness there of the tractor effort as it detects spin. As soon as I get above about 50, I can put it into full power. Our next stop is Horen, which is in about 15 kilometres from now. It's a bit of a track. So now that we're up to speed, tractor effort full forward, power, power, power. One of the things I've been doing is eating sweets a lot as a way to focus. So yeah, this is now definitely going to be the last video I actually record before I start work tomorrow. It's 20, well, it's 6:45 at night now. This will be about an hour's drive, so yeah, pretty cool. You can see got a double-headed freight over there. I'm not sure if it's heavy or it's fast. I assume it's fast, because her Binzes don't tend to be that heavy. Oh, dear God. Motion blur having a minor aneurysm there. I did also manage to break the Harlem line. The Harlem... What's it called? Is it the Harlem route? The Harlem line? Harlem track? I want to call it the Harlem line. Quite phenomenally the other day. Basically what I did was drive a M3 on an express run, and I left about 30 seconds early. Didn't really speed, but I had a few emergency brakes. So, you know, that should have offset my early departure quite nicely, really. And I ended up basically being in a position where I was so fast, I got pathed out in front of a stopping service, and I arrived into one of the stations 7 minutes early, and it got shoved in behind me. And I was like, what do I do now? I got screenshots of it, which are quite cool to see, actually. So you can see we're up at as close to 120 as we'll get. I'm going to turn that off for now. So, a quick capture of the 143. So, you saw we went down the corridor. That's where all the PZB and CFA controls are, or the basic safety systems. That side you can walk through. That side you can't. I believe the engine room's sort of offset slightly to one side on this train. Apart from that, these are your headlight controls. So, this middle one is your actual headlight, and then the left and right are the two markers. In the up position they're in white, in the down position they're in red. These are for various controls that you basically don't need to touch, and I can't remember what they do because there's no symbols, it's just words. Guzamura, Abula, speedometer, relative power gauge, CFA gauge, PZB indications. This tells you which notch of power you're in. I can't explain notch power controllers in this video. I'm really sorry. There's great videos out that explain it much better than I ever could. Those are the two brake gauges. Loco brake, train brake, brake key. So when you prepare the train, the brake's locked out, so you need to unlock it and then put it into the release. Door controls, I believe. Yeah. Also got a two-tone horn, controlled by the spacebar and the B key. Correction N key. So you can see with the headlights, if I move that to red, the train looks like it's winking at me or something, I don't know. And then it goes back and it's fine. You've also up here got the destination controls. No idea what that means, but that's my go-to mood most days. Got your engine temps, overhead line thingies, amps pulling. Yeah, pretty cool really. We may be approaching the area now. Yes, we are. Good job I looked. We've got about 5 kilometers to go. We also have some Dostos on the back, or Doppelstocks, if you speak the lingo. Those have been a pivotal part of the German rail network, really, since the mid-90s, in various generations. These are our 4th gen Dostos. They're now at the 5th gen. Sorry, just stretching out. Yeah, like I say, they're pretty cool. They're limited to 160, but at this loco, it's limited to 120. That's what I've said. For roleplay purposes, we've been, I don't know, moved over to this from like the 146 that was supposed to do it. It's failed. We've been shoved on it basically. The 182. I'll probably do this because it's quite a fast run, and they're good at fast. Yeah, so we're going to lose time. I mean, you'll see we'll arrive probably about a minute late already. And that's if I get the braking right. I always panic in these because I always feel like I'm not slowing down enough. What I've got to remember when I look at the speedometer is I'm not doing 120 miles an hour. I'm doing 120 kilometers an hour. So there is a temptation to slow down really early. But you just don't need to. 43. I do want to take that out for a spin in a video. I'm trying to sort of balance German, British, American since I've got the drive to do American stuff at the moment, So I'm going to go hard on the brake as I need to slow down to 80 km/h. And you can see this train doesn't like to slow down very much. I need to be actually at 60, and I'm probably going to get an emergency brake. There we go. No, come on, 60. So you see what I mean when I say it takes quite a bit to take the drive out of this thing. There we go. So 50 in the window, which safeguards us against issues from the signals. There we go. So we're now up to 80 again to enter the platform. Power goes in. Sometimes you have to slow down more because of PZB than you know you really have to. And I always like to be a little bit slower with PZB, just because, you know, if I'm 5-10 km/h slower a couple of times, you know, then it still puts me in a better place for that. Dealing with it. Sorry, English. Puts you in a better place timings wise than if I have to go into emergency then creep at 45. So we'll just use the dynamic brake correction to skim some speed off. Knock that. Shifa. And again, hitting the end of the platform probably a little bit quicker here, which is fine. So what I'll do is just sling it into that. Now, even though we are to stop at the end, it doesn't matter if we overrun slightly because, you know, we're a loco. It makes... In theory, we could, you know, as long as we stop before that signal, I'd be happy. Welcome to Aachen. So timings-wise, you see we're already about a minute late. And I was cautious on the approach, but not that cautious, you know. If I do... Let's control 1. There we go. That's not bad. Lock the doors. About a minute late, as I say. And close that. What I'm looking for on the little brake gauge that's partially hidden behind the independent, I'm looking for that to drop to as close to 0 as possible, really, below half a bar ideally. 80 goes into the window, and the requirement on power comes back. You can see the power goes in, and we move away. We do. I have actually in the past been caught up by a freight run on this. I'm hopefully not going to do that on this pass. There's the 43 in the turnback sidings, waiting to go back out on its next run. Like I say, the 143s are lovely, but they're just not as quick as some of the other trains are. Pardon me. It is also a 7-car Dosto set, so it's heavy. And you can feel it struggling. We go up to 120 now, heading the main line. Just leave the power in and let it accelerate away. It's around a 20-kilometre journey to Düren, which is our next stop. And then after so Düren is about the halfway mark, sort of distance-wise. And then the rest of the run is So you've got around 3k from Koln to Koln-Ehrenfeld, 15k from there to Aachen, 20k from Aachen to Düren, 9.1k to that place I can't pronounce, Langewehr. That's what I'm sticking to that. 7.2k to Eschweiler, 3.5k to the unnamed station, and then 7.6k to Aachen, Rother, and then about 2k from there. So like I say, it's about halfway. But you just need to, I think I've become quite skeptical of DTGQA in the last few days. Like, first, you know, the M3 run I did, or even today, sorry, the M3 run I did, and now I'm getting whacked. You know, this run itself, it's just pathed in a weird way, and it's because I don't actually think a human tests any of the layers. they only test without, or would have. I'm not sure if that's changed. And, you know, I know that's how I found bugs, was testing the stuff that no one else tested. But that's my nugget of advice to you all. I think one of my next ones is going to have to be Wuppertal. I need to grow a pair and do it. Alright, 120 in the box, C for reset. Now, part of what I sort of look at when I'm doing these drives is figuring out where you are on the route and how long you've got to go. So we've just gone past the 24k marker. Duran's at 39. That's 15 kilometers away. Now, we're currently doing 120, assuming no slowdown time, and the fact that we're just going through Duran. We'd be going through Duran in 7.5 minutes at the current speed. Because 120 is a really nice number to divide, because at 120 kmh you're doing a kilometre every 30 seconds. At 60 kmh you're doing a kilometre every minute. There you go. So, you know, based off that, it's 7.5 minutes. But then you've got to figure in a slowdown time, which I would generally factor in at about a minute or two. So from there, I would say about 8 or 9 minutes to until we've got the doors open in Duran. But then also there's a slowdown on the way in. So, yeah, it's quite an interesting one to sort of think about in that sense. You know, I could... You know, but this is the sort of stuff they have to do when they do train timetables. They don't run a train out there, you know, to figure out what the actual run is. They have to do basically lots of approximations. But then also put, like, timing factors in, because... You know, if a unit's a bit slow that one day, you need to have, you know, some stuff in there. Like, honestly, railway timetabling, it's a black art, quite frankly. Yeah. Uh-oh. That's fine. I screwed up for a second there. For some reason as well, I thought these were maxed at 140, but I mean, it's literally just a box. You can understand why not. Although, interestingly, the 112, which I need to do a video in as well at some stage, probably doing something on Hamburg-Lübeck, they max at 160. So, yeah, what I'm trying to do is, there's trains I enjoy driving, right, like the 187, the 185, anything that's a tracks I quite enjoy. Sprinters, or city sprinters, I quite enjoy those, or tourists, depending on which part of the world you're in. I enjoy those. You know, I end up just not enjoying, like, stuff like this as much, the older ones. The 155 I feel weird, almost cursed with that one, and I quite enjoy it. But yeah, like these, I struggle to want to drive them. That's why I'm sort of forcing myself in order to do this video today. Had I been doing this in a tracks, I would have had LZB enabled, and it would have been driving itself for, you know, near enough. But doing it in the 143 is a bit more involved. I was quite surprised that they made the 143, because they're not that common. I think there's like, yeah, hang on, I'm gonna check my notes here. Yeah, class 143. So. Interesting. I can't actually find the numbers for them. But there wasn't that many, basically. There we go. Yeah. Oh, 646. I'm being delusional. Sorry about that. There was a lot of them. I am being... For some reason I thought that was like 15. I might have misread something somewhere. That's the 112 going the other way. Which would have been a fun drive, I guess, but it is what it is. Got 7k left to run now. So yeah, you can see the Dostos. These also... The 5th gen Dosto, which is the next version up from this, that we don't yet have in TS, which I really think we should, forms the IC2. Not the ICE2, the IC2. Which is basically a 187 for haulage with Dostos configured for intercity runs on the back, and yeah, you know there's that people love them or hate them, but there's I quite like the idea of it, that it's basically it's just a weird one. Because there's times like an ICE train would be great, but there's no point. But then what's the difference between one of the Dostos on the back of a 187 to Dostos on the back of one of these, or on a Regio Bon or a Regional Express? And yeah, I think that's a very good question, if I'm honest. It's a very good question indeed. 5k to go until we're at Duren. Give you an idea of where we are on the... No. There we go. We're here. That's Koln. We started about there. We finish about there in Aachen. So you can see Duren's about halfway near enough for it not to matter. So I know Duren is at the 39km mark. So I've got about 3k to go. So I'm just keeping an eye out for speed warnings, because I do believe we're going to decrease on the way into 60, but I've not made a note of it, so I'm panicking a little. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to brake when we go under that bridge. What I'll do in the meantime, though, is just knock my my throttle out and just coast, and then just use the physical brake, or the train brake. I'm honestly, like, mentally trying to prepare myself for going to work for the first time tomorrow, and I don't know, just it feels really strange. It doesn't feel like it's happening, I guess, is the way I'd probably try and explain this to someone else. Like, I've not been at work that long. It doesn't feel like I should be at work. Does that make sense? You guys are my counsellors now. I am going to ask work for counselling, and I'm going to talk about mental health in an upcoming video, so don't forget to stick around for that, or don't. It's entirely down to you. Okay, I was wrong when I said there was speed reduction. Oh well. But it's better to drive cautiously than to get caught out. So we'll just let the brake off, and then I'll brake just before the end of the platform again. Actually, I'll brake at the end, because this is an intercity platform, so it'll be nice and long to take, like an 11-car ICE train. So I'm going to hold on my brake off and just stop right at the end. Unlock the doors on the right. There we go. Welcome to Duren. Now our timings, like as you can see, we're 3 minutes late now, and there's nothing we can do about this. This is just the nature of the beast now, and it's only going to get worse from here. But this just shows, like, the fact that, you know, we are probably, there's probably path for 160, so we're 40 km/h slower. And you can see, I mean, in 30k we've lost 3 minutes. It shows the significance of good timing, but also it's not quite as major as you'd think. And there is an urge, in my opinion, when you first start driving in TS, that you have to be within 1 mile of the speed limit. And, well, actually, probably you don't. Lock the doors. Like, yeah, it's good to be, and it's good to be on time, but also, if you're on a downhill slope, struggling to keep time anyway. There we go. Straight up to 120. You're struggling to keep time anyway. Then, yeah, it doesn't make a difference. Looking at the hat there, that's a bug that annoys me. That's been broken since TSW 2020 at the very least. Yeah. Mildly upsetting. That's still not fixed. Looking at you, preservation crew. And see, I think we've got away with a full power departure here, without too much spin. I do like the detail in these liveries, and the fact that the 143's correction are quite tired. And I'm going to keep an eye on the signals as our next stop at Langewehr. It's about 9.1k. So just want to be aware, basically. It's, yeah. Like, the first half of the journey is the one that you pay attention on, but also, in a way, the easiest, because you're on high speed lines and you're slower than everything else, so you can't catch anything up, in theory. Whereas, you know, this part where you can start thinking about catching things up, or, you know, hitting adverse signals, is the part where you've been lulled into that false sense of security, and you need to be able to sort of wake yourself back up in a way, I guess. You know, that's sort of the nice thing about AWS in the UK. If you lull yourself into a sense of security and you drift off and you start looking at the gardens and stuff as you're driving, you then end up, you end up in a, you get basically woken up, for lack of a better phrase, by an AWS going off, right? Whereas here, on the German safety systems, you don't get that. You've got to hit the acknowledge before you go, as you go past the signal. Otherwise, it'll throw a hissy fit and slam you into emergency, basically, which is mildly frustrating. So Langewehr is at the 49.0 mile post, but also we have to slow to an 80 just before entering there. So we've got about 5 kilometres still to go though, so let the train run. I wonder why I might have confused the 143 with the 112. That's the only thing I can think here. Yeah, that's really strange. 3k to the break point now, so I need to keep a good lookout. There we go. Keep a good lookout ahead for the acknowledge. For the speed change down. And probably at about 47-ish, just put 80 in the window and put a slight brake application on. Yeah, you can see though, this train just, you know, it feels slow going along here in this thing. And I mean, we're due in Langewehr 2 minutes ago. So there's no way we're making this with, you know, only lasting about 3 or 4 minute, well, 4 or 5 minute delay. I want to acknowledge that. I'm going to throw 80 in the window. Brake to release. I'm going to cycle that from off to back on. There we go, 80 is thingied. Got another signal. Just going to do this the same way. And you can see the platform we're going into there, so power goes off. And I'm just going to use my brake application to slow us down. This is one of the few bay platforms on the route, yet nothing actually overtakes us here, which is a bit of a shame, it feels like. Now this platform is quite short, so I go for quite a slow approach into it. I also disregard the stopping point and stop at the end. Just so that we get the entire train on. There we go. We'll unlock the doors on the right. And we'll sit here for a moment. Keep an eye on that. We can also quickly look and see, yeah, you know, we're definitely reaching the 2/3 mark now. And that freight's not caught us up yet, which I guess is nice. Although he's not that far behind, so we should definitely get a shimmy on. Everybody off, everybody on. We must move FA. We must do it now. Just telling people I'm late. Block the doors. That's a health and safety hazard if I'd stopped correctly. Or if I hadn't, sorry. If I'd stopped correctly, that wouldn't have been a non-issue. Or 100 yards further forward, but yeah. Get behind the yellow line! I used to enjoy that part of my job. That was the best part of working on a train. Being able to shout at people. As a general rule of thumb, one of the things you aim not to do in customer service is to shout at your customers. But I found it surprisingly effective. Well, so obviously in a safety situation, you need to shout at people ultimately. And the way Lumo's dispatch procedure worked, if there was anyone behind the yellow line, you couldn't go. And so you had to be like, blow your whistle, get behind the yellow line. Customers completely gormless and doesn't know what's going on. You, get behind the yellow line. Oh, me? Okay, moves. Yeah. Welcome to customer service on the railways. But then also, the amount of customers I had who would somehow manage to... There's no other way to say that, but, well, yeah, basically fall asleep within like 10 minutes of us leaving the initial station. So we'd be out of King's Cross. We'd be going through like not even Welling, and someone's asleep. And I don't mean like a dozing asleep. I mean fast asleep. And one of the things I learned was if you take the side of your phone and knock it against the tray tables, that makes a phenomenal noise. Like that, but obviously it's metal on the 800s. And yeah, that's great fun. Watching someone wake up. Like, oh, what? Oh, ticker. Oh, okay. Yeah. We're up to 120 in this section, I know. Yeah. So we're just going to let the train run with it, basically. As you know, as I've sort of said, there's no way we're going to arrive at the end on time, so, you know. So just sipping my drink there. Hello, Ice. Give him a wave. Well, that was what we drove the last time we did this run. The ices are good fun. Yeah, so got about 3 and a bit K until Escherweiler. About 2K now, so I'm gonna get to about 1.5 and unlock the power out. And we've got an adverse signal anyway. It's a 60 for this changeover, so. And pile a bit of brake on. So we need to be at, I believe it's 75 in Modo of PZB within 20 seconds. So I always pile the brake on just so we get down nice and early, basically. There's 60. There's that reset. So I'm going to knock that through idle. And then back up to 60. Uh-oh. That was the wrong button. There we go. Okay, and I've just been PZB'd, I think. Have I? Yeah, I have. Fascinating. So... what the ever-loving hell? I got Seaford. I cleared that. That was weird. Apologies for that, folks. That one's a bug. Because I heard the alarm, cleared it, and that should have released the Seafer. The good news is we can go straight back up to a line speed once we depart here. Up to 60 we go. There's a 187 going the other way, give him a wave. There's a lot of 187s on this route, I find. Got the 60 limit there in the signal. Acknowledge that going past. Of course, we're at 55. No factor at all today. So do apologise for that. That was really strange, if I'm honest. Like, I'm 90% sure I acknowledged that. I mean, I'll be honest and say the light is difficult to read. There we go, and we're going to come down the approach into Escheweiler. We are approaching the Dutch border, and I think you can hear the Dutch etymology beginning to come through in certain words. Oh, actually, we're at 60. We can go at 60 for a while longer here. Yeah. So that's Escheweiler Station. Not the etymology, but the sound. What's the sound? What's the word for that? Like, I don't actually know. Break off. Just let the rheostatic take it. Once you hit about 30, I'll go power off fully. Bit of brake. I'm going to stop right at the end here. Again, I do keep the stop markers turned on just because it doesn't make a difference in TS Classic, but it does in TSW. A little bit late on the platform there. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh well. We had the road set for us though, so that the game can't take that back. Oh, we haven't actually cleared that signal yet. Interestingly, well, I can see it from here, sort of. There we go. Yeah, we're 6 minutes late now. There's nothing we can do about it. Oh, that freight train's caught up to us. That's embarrassing. He's going to be held for us though, so there's always that. That's also a slight inaccuracy in the way TS does things, is it takes into account the loco's maximum speed, but not the coach's maximum speed. So you'll find a lot of freights are limited to 100, 110, maybe even 90 kmh. And obviously the locos aren't, and the game won't care about the coaches. It'll only care about... So just checking my thing there. Yeah, this is the anonymous station. As you can see, it says stop as indicated. And I'll like come about on the platform to show you. There's no actual platform signage there. So this is anonymous. So, we are going to get a 110 coming up, so I'm going to put that in the window. However, it's about a little over a kilometre to the actual station. So what I'm going to do is just nut the power out. Look at that, I've been in idle like 10 or so seconds. No, hang on, my bad, I'm embarrassing myself here. I'll go to 100. I can't read. So yeah, the 120 that we've diarrhea. The 120 that we've reached is the highest speed we'll reach now. We'll only go up to 110 now. So I'm going to put my brake on and bring our speed down for the arrival into the unknown station. Which I'm really slow already. I'm going to coast for a bit. You can see that's the platforms there. It's, yeah, like, I don't know. I do find it easy to get caught out in certain routes. There we go. But you'll notice if I really rapidly fly over here, there is no station signage here. So it's like, what do I do? I don't know. Gonna pile hard on the brake so that we get stopped at the end. Absolutely nothing I can do about my delay, unfortunately. Like, there's... yeah. Oh, really? That's the other thing. I stopped right on top of that, and that wasn't good enough for it. You can see I need to be right on top of the marker, which is completely ridiculous. So that's what I need, a 146 like he's got. If it has an issue with that, I'm going to be mad. No, it doesn't. Good. Yeah, like I say, this train here is the kind of thing I'd need to be operating. 146. I am going to do a future video in that. Probably on MSB or something. But yeah, you can see that goes into the engine room, so obviously we can't go down that way. But you can run down the side, into the back cab here. Don't run on board a train. It's bad for health and safety. Time to go places. In the cab. Doors are going, gone. Brake released. I'll let that pressure fall away. And no power yet. Of course not power yet. Why would it just think it's ridiculous to let me take power, right? There we go, 110. Away we go. Our next and penultimate stop is Koln, correction, Aachen, RE143, in about 9.6k. I generally don't give a damn if this thing crashes. I don't know if it crashes, if it like wheel steps itself into oblivion. So anyway, yeah, I think you've just seen probably my mental health. You know, I used to be pretty decent at, you know, putting it in a box and dealing with it later kind of thing. But now I don't have that scope, that, you know, that level of resilience anymore. So it's like, well, time for an explosion. Yeah. But, hopefully you didn't see that. I don't think you would have, but yeah. No, it's, honestly, I'm glad to be back at work. I really am. And I don't think I realised, you know, quite how bad I was. Because, like, even now, I've been off work for 8 weeks. You can hear what I'm like. That, yeah, I'm, you know, I'm not a complete emotional wreck. but I'm also far from in a good place. You know, I'm back at work because, you know, frankly, I need the money. You know, and I'll be glad to get paid. Rotherda 68.3, which is fine. 5k. So, you know, but yeah, honestly, I just so I get paid from DWP in 9 days, and 4 weeks until I get paid from LNER. Oops, I said it. Oh well, if you've made it this far in the video, you can find out. I'm not working as train crew anymore, so it makes actually very little difference. You know, I was always really protective, even as, you know, working as an ambassador, to say that actually, look, you know, I don't want to be badly representing the company, I guess. Like, one of the things, you know, is it's very easy to speed quite badly in this game, right? Well, I'm trying to avoid, you know, I was always trying to avoid making big mistakes because I don't want someone to turn around and say, oh, well, you know, that's what ... is like, you know, help, safety, all that kind of stuff. And trust me, my manager would have brought that up to me, and I would have had an answer for that. And that's the kind of stuff I just don't want to be dealing with, you know? So, yeah. But it was, to be honest, you know, when I first left, like I say, I was in denial of how bad a place I was. Yeah, like, I went through a pretty dark patch. I was, at one point, after I left, because basically I did, as you can imagine, I didn't leave on my own terms, unfortunately. I was, for about a day, convinced that the best way for me to deal with this was to go ahead and basically commit forever sleep in front of one of the company's trains. Break off. I heard two alarms there, and I got a bit confused. Yeah, the Traxxas, honestly, they are so much better than this thing. This is just horrible to drive. Absolutely horrendous. Well, not horrible to drive, but in terms of keeping speed and time, it's awkward. Okay, I'm now 8 minutes and counting late. Yeah. You know, but yeah, I was in a place, like I say, where I was pretty. I thought a rational thought was for me to go and commit forever sleep in front of one of their trains as revenge, in effect. That's quite scary to think about, if I'm honest. Anyway, I'm gonna try and go back to focusing on the positive. You know, I've got a new start now, and I've learned a lot from this one, and my takeaways are really substantial in terms of stuff that I know I need to work on. And that's good. You know, that's definitely a good thing. But, yeah. I had a stand at Koln. Here. Koln. No. Aachen. Rotherda. What I'll do once we clear is I can set this to... You'll notice the front hasn't changed yet, so even, you know, regardless of what I scroll to, until I actually press the button, it goes nowhere, kind of thing. So we'll move away and head towards the station. I'll leave that for now, I think. Yeah, it's fine. We'll deal with it later. The brakes should have come off by now. There we go. So I am just going to restrict us to 60 on the departure. It's purely because of all the adverse signalling in the area. It's a nice sort of safe way to move away. Oh dear. Bit of the old slip and slide. I am hoping to cover some more, to be honest, yeah, I'm trying to balance what I cover on the channel. Like, fuck me. And that's what I get for trying to talk whilst I do a YouTube video. Fuck me. Shut up. Yeah, this is my Emily's not having a good day mood now. Just wait for that brake to fall away a little further. 40 in the window. Oh, the tunnels are gone, so I'm just going to use that because you see that the bug gets lost quite easily if you're not zoomed in. So I'm just turning it off. $100k box in the window, but I'm stuck at to reduce speed. Right, we'll complete this run and then call it there. But yeah, I mean, you can see we're going to be about 11 minutes late upon arrival. There we go. I'll put 60 in the window again. And I'll slow to... Actually, I'll put 40 in. No! You're a dick. Not gonna lie, that is one of the things I really like about the tracks, is it tells you what your speed restriction is, because I can never remember what it is on the type of PZB I'm on. Yeah, I'm going to get out and walk from here, I think. 20 miles an hour. Put that in the window. Have fun with that one, train. Oh, the wheels went at 20. I wonder, actually, if I got a wheel slip and it went above 40, would that... Yeah, I think I've got traction now. I'm not going to get a slip again. You can see the flashing at green there, which will be the... Yeah. The last acknowledge, I believe, on the run-in to Aachen station. We've made it. Shut up. We've made it. Yay. It's around a 70-kilometre journey. I only got PZB twice, which I would maintain was not my fault. And, you know, I think it proves the 143s are good, and I think, you know, they had their time. I just don't think that time is now, you know? Yeah, we'll go up to 30. Pay the consequences, but hey. So that flashing thing is a 60 restriction. That's fun. I've not seen that asset in a while. Oh no, that's a generator. My bad. I was about to start ripping DTG a new one. Down to 20 we go. All those beeps are just really irritating. No, come on. Power. Really? 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 I need... No, it would help if I pressed the right button, wouldn't it? I hate this. Anyway, welcome to Aachen. Lovely church over there, but that's a cathedral technically. Nice valley. Aachen, when you go west out of Aachen, you get sort of go towards the Netherlands. Got some Zakkens being towed there. Got a Talent 2 on the left. And ooh, a little shutter in the siding there. I wonder what that's doing. I will run over and see if that actually has a job, or if that just sits there all day. If it sits there all day, it's fine, but like I wish you had something you did with it, you know. Honestly, I can't stress enough, like the, you know, Joe Burgess gameplay is pretty out there. I believe he's Joe the Fish on Steam Workshop. And he is, yeah, honestly, he's like I say, like, I'm one of those people, I don't, you know, I'm not someone who goes, oh, you know, my mate's great, you know, if they're good, I'll say that, like, you know, if I generally believe it. But he is honestly probably one of the best gameplay designers I know of in the TS community at large. So I'm going to go release and then bring it back a notch so I can then turn my brake key off. I'm going to actually I'm going to let that off. I'm going to set my headlight to off, my two tail lights to red. You can see it's got me down as terminating at Aachen, but I can't actually change that to not in service, I don't believe. Yeah, because you've got S12, Brussels, Frankfurt, Paderborn, Ham, Dortmund, Dusseldorf, Siegen, Orsieg. Yeah, not much you can do. So I'm just going to sit down and wait for the service to complete. So you can lock my doors, and then I can complete the service after that. I can basically remove the master key. There we go. You can see we didn't speed at all on that, but what points are we going to get? Oh, we didn't get a medal at all. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to go back to free roam just so we can shut the train down and you know, properly. So I'm just going to hit that. Nicht einsteigen. Okay. Doors. Door. There we go. And that is the train properly secured. We'll let the guard deal with everything else. And we're just going to go get a coffee. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. So I'm really sorry about that first and foremost. But hopefully you did enjoy it as much as you could. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye for now.